Today we are going to solve the problem of minimum size subarray sum. What is the problem here? Given an array of positive numbers, that is positive integers nums. An array of positive numbers is given and a positive integer which is called as target. Some value will be given. What we have to return is return the minimum length of a subarray. That is, what is minimum subarray means? A contiguous non-empty sequence of elements. Contiguous means it's a continuous sequence of elements. For example, in this input of array, we can say 2, 3 will be called as an array because it is continuous and it is comes with a sequence. It's coming one after another. The order is not changed. Here we can say this is also an array, and 3 1 2 also array, and 1 2 4 3 also array, and every single element like 2 3 1 is also called as subarray. And what we have to find is minimum length of a subarray whose sum is greater than or equal to a target. For example, we have a target value 7, means the subarray sum should be greater than or equal to 7. That subarray length has to be written. Which subarray length is minimum, that value should be written as a output. For example, in this example we have a target value 7. We can find the sum of the subarray. This can also yield the result 7, because 1 plus 2 3 plus 4 equal to 7, and 4 plus 3 also gives 7. This 2 array can be used to acquire the result of target value 7, and greater than 7 we can say this is also a array which is which is also greater than 7, and many arrays subarrays are greater than 7. So every array has the many arrays has the length has greater than 7, but we have to return the minimum length which is greater than or equal to the target value. That value should be returned. How to find this? We have a sliding window approach by having a 2 pointer and slides the window. For example, I have a pointer, left pointer here in the start index, and right index for traversing this array to find the minimum subarray length. First, I have a right pointer here to sum the value. First, I initialize the sum value as 0 and I add this first element of this array in the sum. Now the sum becomes 2, and I check for the sum which is greater than or equal to the target. If it is greater than or equal to the target only, I reduce this sum value of the left pointer. That is, I reduce the sum value of the left pointer and I will increment the left pointer. Before that, a sum value which is greater than or equal to target, I have to track the minimum length. That is, I have to track the length of every subarray which is greater than or equal to target. First, I will also initialize the minimum length to a integer maximum value. In this array, we have a maximum value 4. That value I have to initialize to the minimum length. If any subarray comes less than this value, I will update the length of the subarray in this minimum length. Here in this input, the sum is 2. It checks for the condition whether this is greater than or equal to target. If it is greater than or equal to target only, the left pointer element will be reduced from the sum. If not, it will add the another element. That is, the right pointer travels here and add the value to the sum. Now the sum becomes 5. Now it check for the value, that is greater than or equal to 7. Now it is not, now it is also not greater than 7 or equal to 7. Now it adds the another element to the sum, that is 1. Now the sum becomes 6. It is not also greater than or equal to 7. So it adds another element to the sum. Now the sum becomes 8. It checks for the condition whether this greater than or equal to 7. If it is greater than or equal to 7, now the left pointer is here. It reduces the, it subtracts the element of left pointer from the sum. Now the sum becomes 6. And also the left pointer moves here. The left pointer will increment here. Now it checks for the sum. Here the sum is 6. It is not greater than or equal to 7. So the right pointer travels here and adds this element to the sum. Now the sum becomes 10. So it will reduce the element of this left pointer here. Now the sum becomes 7. And it is incremented to, left pointer is incremented to here. Now the sum becomes 7. It is also equal to 7. So it will reduce the element from this sum now and move to this pointer. Now the sum becomes 6. It checks for the condition. So it is not greater than or equal to 7. So it adds the element, this last element to the sum. Now the right pointer travels to the end of the array. So the loop gets over. Now the sum becomes 7. Sum becomes, it is equal greater than or equal to target. So it will reduce the element of this left pointer here. Left pointer here. Sorry. Now the pointer is here. Now it calculates the subarray length, that is equal to true. Here also, when the value is greater than or equal to true, the minimum length will be calculated and updated it. Once the minimum value is found, then the previously updated value, that value will be updated. Here we get the value also 4 and 3 and 3, and finally we get the result 2. That value should be written as a output. Now let's code this on online compiler. First I give the minimum function for a 2 integer, int a and int b, return this is the output. And now minimum subarray length is the output. So, and what is the input? It is a integer array, and it has the array size, and it has the value target. first this has to be the input, a target, that is target has to be the input, so I place this here. I have in a pointer, that is left pointer equal to 0. I have the initial sum, that is also equal to 0, and I have the minimum length of this subarray, and I initialize to the integer maximum. For that, I have included the header file for integer minimum maximum, so that is limits.h. Minimum length I will set as integer maximum, so int max, and I run the loop for the by having the right pointer from 0 till end of this array. I will traverse and find the sum. I will sum this every value in this array and checks the condition. I sum every value and I check the condition. What is the condition? When the sum value is greater than or equal to target only, I will execute this function, execute these conditions. That means set of codes. What is that? If sum greater than or equal to target, I will reduce the left pointer element. It is executed for every sum value. It will first sum the first particular element, every single element, and checks for this condition, and an element, and checks for the condition, and it tracks the minimum length also. What we have to do, minimum of this minimum length, comma, actual place of this right minus left plus 1. What does this refers means? It calculates the how many elements are in this range. For example, in an array of 0th index and the second index, we have 3 elements. 0, 1, 2. It's a 3 elements. How will be calculated? 2 minus 0 plus 1. It will so it will give the answer 3. There are 3 elements in the array. That will be the length of this array. From this 2 value, the minimum value is taken and updated to this minimum length. And left point is incremented. And then this loop gets over. Finally, what we have to check is if the minimum length is not updated, that is we hasn't find any array, subarray which is greater than or equal to target, means we have to return 0, length equal to int max. So if any value has not updated, we have to return 0. Otherwise, what is the updated minimum length, that has to be returned. target value I place as 7. Nums array will be this 2 comma 3 comma 1 comma 4 comma 5 4 comma 2 comma 4 comma 3. Here also I place this as 4, and num size will be size of the whole array divided by size of a single element in an array. That will give the number of elements in the array. Percentage %d, it's the integer output, so I'll call this function as min SubArray. Min SubArray target num size. Let's run and see. Sorry, I have small error, and I have declared this to int. Sorry, this has now. Let's run and see. Yeah, the output is 2, because this is only we are getting this greater than or equal to 7. This has the length of 2, and let's run and let's run it on a gigs for gigs. Sorry, Leetcode. So it has the built-in function, so test case passed, and yeah, all the test cases passed.